Cool. Let's see how this goes. Haven't done one of these in a very long time, so see how it goes. Just wait a few minutes for a few more people to get in here. See what happens. G'day, the shiny primal. Eamon, good day. Hello, my Bugio. Alright. G'day, Joven. G'day, Azure. G'day, Miguel. Yeah, so I have no idea how this will go. I haven't done a review thing in a long time. This box does look hella fun, though. Basically just a ton of anime archetypes stuffed into one box. I'm doing alright. A little bit on the tired side, but that's alright. I think easiest thing to do would be start at the bottom and go up. That way if... I wouldn't skip this box if you're looking for fun cards. If you're looking for meta cards, maybe not. Although there are a few cards in here that look pretty fucking staple, but... yeah, this will be a great meme deck box. It's got magnets, we've got the legendary dragons are in here, which I'm super excited for. The knight dudes. Oh, god, it looks fun. Yeah, Timaeus makes Dark Paladin the easiest card ever to summon. So how do magnets work? Well, we'll find that out when we get to them. They'll be a lot later on though, because we're going to go in reverse order. That way, the exciting stuff's more towards the end, and we try to go through more of the crap first. Hopefully. Yes, it's a mini box, I think. Yeah. We won't look at any combos and stuff, we'll just go through the cards. I'm not sure about the Tramid cards. Are they like a flip archetype? I've already had like a couple of flip archetypes recently already, I'm kind of sick of them. An EX deck for Dark Magician? Could be. Alright, let's just get into it, because maybe wait a little bit longer. See if a few more people want to pop in. There are rock support cards. Magnets want you better? No idea. Well, a lot of people didn't think Timaeus would be meta, and we saw that turned out. Just really have to see once the cards come out what decks will actually be meta. Debris makes Black Rose too easy and Iron Chain Dragon. I have about 5k gems, deciding if I should invest. It might be a Dark Magician comeback though. When will this box be out? This box will be out in 2 days from now. Well, 2.5. Alright, so we'll wait 1 more minute. I'll wait for 5 minutes and then we'll start. Not tomorrow. Comes out on the 20th. There's a new event that comes out tomorrow though. Where is it? Does it even have the date on here? Do I have to look in game? Now let me just look in game real quick at the date. So keep in mind this is Australian, so it's going to be different for you guys. So for me, it is the 18th right now, and it comes out on the 20th. So yeah, 2 days. It's my OBS, there it is. Alright, we'll get started in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so first card we're looking at. So we're going to go through every card in here. So all the junk, all the shit, we're going to go through it all. So Canyon, our first filler of the box. If a rock type monster is in defense position, is attacked, double any battle damage to control the attacking monster. Honestly, complete trash. If you play this field spell, I don't see why anyone would ever attack into your face down, so it's probably the only upside of it, to maybe make people think that not to attack into your face down. It seems like no one would anyway, if they see that you're playing this card, so I do not see this getting any play at all. Trash. We've already seen that card, it's new, that's not new, that's not new, although that will come up later on. Magnet Conversion. Target up to 3 level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monsters in your graveyard. Add them to your hand. During other player's turn except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished level 4 or lower Magnet monsters, special summon it. Interesting. Doesn't seem all that useful though. So you add 3 level 4 Magnet Warriors from your monsters in your graveyard. Add them to your hand. They can be used in the graveyard anyway though, right? For Magnet Warrior stuff, so it doesn't really matter too much. It just adds one of your banished back. It seems pretty useless. Because don't Magnet Warriors already get used in the graveyard? Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure most already can be used in the graveyard, right? But in fact, you're trying to send Magnet Warriors to the graveyard. I don't see the point of that card. I may be missing something here, but it seems pretty bad. The fact that Beta is not in the box? There's a lot of powerful Magnet Warrior cards in this box. Honestly. We'll see though. Horn of Light. Increase the defense of a monster equipped with this card by 800. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, if you pay 500 life points, you can turn this top of the deck. What's just a shitty Horn of Unicorn and only for defense monsters? No way in hell that gets play. Oh. Are these might be the cards. This is the Reaper size, so I think there's a card later on that uses this or can search for this or something. Maybe able to search this as well, I don't know. Equip only to a Guardian Dread size. Yeah, so obviously there's something that can search for this. It gains 500 attack, so probably not best to review that just yet until we come across the actual monster it attaches to. So we're waiting till the Dark Magician structure box and skip the box, I guess. I feel like this box is going to be hella fun, honestly. I wouldn't underrate this box, it seems so much fun. We need more Toon support, or we need Grandpa to be released in Duel Links. We're getting Guardian cards, oh yeah. Alright, Celestial Sword of Atos? Okay. The equipped monster gains 500 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one Guardian Atos you control against 500 attack for each banished monster. Okay. So I'm not really sure what the use of that is. It's a Noble Arms card, so what's a Noble Knight or something? Card by itself doesn't seem too strong, but it looks like it works with some kind of archetype maybe? I don't know. Kind of hard to review that card until we come across more cards for it. Or about it. More Noble Knight support. Yeah, it doesn't seem all that useful. Doesn't seem game changing anyway. Alright, now here's an exciting card. The Claw of Hermos. So a very anime card for all you that have seen the anime. This card is always treated as Legendary Dragon Hermos. Oh yeah, this one is a... These are some, hang on. Oh, there we go. Nope. Hang on, it's coming. I didn't set up the stream properly. Oh god, there you go. Pog, there you go. Pog jump. Anyway, send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, of the type that is listed on a fusion monster that can be special summoned with the Claw of Hermos. If this card is set, reveal it. Then special summon the fusion if that card is set, reveal it, yeah. Then special summon that fusion monster from your extra deck. You can only activate one Claw of Hermos per turn. So we'll come across the cards that were used for this a bit later on, but there are some interesting cards. They're not particularly the most powerful one of the 3 Legendary Dragon cards, but this one may actually see play. There's 3... Hang on, let me just have a look. There's 3 Legendary Dragon cards, and one of them I don't think will see that much play. This one may get some play in some of the Spellcaster decks, purely because it's actually usable. It's definitely one of the weaker of the 3. There's one that's actually super useful, and the other 2 are kind of iffy. This one may get play. We'll come across the fusion monsters later on, and I'll talk about them when we go through them, but this one may actually see play. It's a kind of useful card. Next one, I'm not sure about this one at all. This one I think is the weakest of the three. Send one trap card from your hand or field to the graveyard that is listed on a fusion monster that can special summon this with this card. The Fang of... yeah. Then special summon that fusion monster from your extra deck. You can only activate one per turn. So the main issue with this card is I'm pretty sure there's only one target for this. And that is... where is he? This one? I think? Which we'll talk about when we get to it, but I'm pretty sure this is the only target for the card, meaning it's going to be pretty bad. So I think currently, this card won't see any play at all. Unless you're in some kind of... especially because the only tripe it targets is this one, I'm pretty sure. Which is like... this card is pretty bad. Or pretty average. So... we'll see. But this card currently can only summon one fusion monster, and it targets this one. So you have to run this trap card. And you have to run 3 of it to make the other one consistent, and this trap card's not exactly great, so... yeah, I don't think this one will get play. We'll talk about the other cards when we get to them for Hermos, though. Legend of Heart. Now this is going to be something I'm going to experiment with on day 1, purely because it will make such a fun meme deck. I don't care if the deck is good or not, I just want to play with it. Pay 2,000 life points and tribute one warrior type monster. Banish up to 3 legendary dragon spell cards with different names from your hand and or graveyard, and if you do, special summon that many legendary knight monsters with different names from your hand, deck, and or graveyard. You can only activate 1 Legend of Heart per turn. So we'll go through legendary knights later on, but basically this is your main way to summon them, well, the only way to summon them. So we'll talk about this a bit later on. I do have a deck list that I'll show you at the end of the deck building thing that's built around this, which should be a bit of fun. Probably be a load of crap for a card, but it's going to be fun. Holy shit, it's going to be fun for a meme deck. These knights are so anime. This is such an anime card. It's straight from the anime. Thank you for the follow or sub. I haven't got notifications showing. Ugh. Very scuffed stream, actually. Now, let me just move the thing down. So that all the other stuff shows. Oh, there we go. Alright, let me just get rid of that real quick. Alright, cool. Maybe in a red eyes deck? I don't think the card's in that place still. Trap fusions. This is a really cool meme deck. Oh, it will be fun. So I'll go through the knights and stuff when I get to them. It's kind of hard to talk about these cards until we've actually seen the fusion stuff. Maybe I'll talk about them at the end anyway. Alright, next is, the exciting stuff from the box. Spherus Lady. Oh, this is an exciting card. This one is definitely a pog. God damn, this is exciting. Yeah, we're just gonna... oh, even better. It's a rock type, so it supports all the rock type monsters too. God damn. How exciting. 1,200 defense, are you kidding me? Absolute meta changer. Alright, next. Orichalcos Shunorus. Oh, it's an Orichalcos card. Is that mean you're going to get the Orichalcos at some point? Another anime card? That'll be exciting. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. If a normal monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card gains 1,000 attack for each monster your opponent controls. Face up level 4 monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. What a really interesting card. So, the protection from level 4 monsters is probably pretty useless, because I don't know any level 4 normal monsters that are in play currently. I don't know if there's any in this box in particular, but I don't think anyone actually plays any level 4 normal monsters. This card is not exactly horrible though. If your opponent has 3 monster slots open, that's a 3,000 attack monster. Probably not going to see too much play unless I'm missing something, or there's something built around this card, some like archetype later on in the box, but I don't see protecting level 4 as a useful effect, and generally, even 3,000 isn't an awful lot, especially in current meta. Everything seems to go over 3,000 eventually. A Clayman, shake my head, you're right. Clayman, absolute meta breaker, meta defining. What? what do you actually think about the new rock support? I'll go through it when I get to it. I won't go through it just yet. Yep, Clayman support right here. You're not wrong. Alright. This is the filler box. Oh, there's a lot of fun cards in here, dude. I wouldn't call it a filler box. And it may not be a meta-changing box. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out when it comes out. Guardian Dreadsight. So this is the card that was searching for the Slice card from earlier, which wasn't a very particular powerful equip spell, but it exists. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by its own effect, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If a Guardian Atos is destroyed by battle or a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you special summon this card from your hand. So it has to be in your hand. Not great. When this card is special summoned, you can equip one Reaper's Scythe, Dreadsight from your deck to this card. You cannot normal summon or special summon monsters, but you can normal set. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, send one card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you special summon this card from your graveyard. This is a card that keeps resing itself, that equips itself with a rather mediocre spell. Has no protection of itself. Seems very meh. I don't know. So this one was the card that equips the Dread Scythe, right? It's just this one. Which is super mediocre. It literally is just going to be a 3000 attack monster with no protection that keeps resing itself. And has to be in your hand to special summon itself. We'll give it a meh. Alright, next. Why does Dreadscythe look like Leroy Medor during his emo phase? I have no idea what that is. Edgy, yeah. Tramid Dancer. So, Tramids are one of the main archetypes of this box. So let's see what they are. They are a rock archetype. Once per turn, you can target one Tramid card in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, all rock type monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Once per turn, during your opponent's turn, you can target one Tramid field spell card in your field zone, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, you can activate one Tramid field spell card from your deck with a different name. Interesting effect. Once per turn, you target one Tramid in your graveyard. So it gives your stuff a little buff. Doesn't seem too strong with that, but it does search for a field spell, it seems pretty good. Especially since this archetype's going to have a lot of field spells when we get through them all. I know, so this is just just mainly used for its searching power. Giving your stuff more attack and defense doesn't seem particularly useful. But it is definitely a searcher though. I don't know what the rest of the archetype does for this, so it's going to be hard to rate until we've gone through the rest of them. But it seems pretty average. Its stat line's too low. And maybe if the field spells are particularly useful and support this guy having such a low stat, maybe? We'll have to see when we go through the field spells. For now, I'll give it a, I don't know. Do I need to rate this a number? I haven't done one of these in a while. We give it an okay, maybe. Mystical Sand, okay. Bam, what an exciting card. Absolute meta definer once again. Konami really surprises us all with this one. The buff is insanely good. It's not limited to copies. If you cycle field spells and buff all the rocks, so Block Dragon goes to 30-35. Okay. I'll go to this one in a second, hang on. Try to read chat, because they know what they're talking about. Trimid's work with Magnet Warriors, and I have Timaeus work with Dark Magician. 90s box is good, it's kind of good. I'm excited for the Dark Magician support. It's the recycle, yeah. I played this deck in TGC for 2 years, and Downter has been a centerpiece along with Hunter. Oh, so this card is actually, like, needed? Okay. I'm sure this box will not be pushed the meta forward, because none of the cards are basically garbage. Not all the cards are garbage, you'll see in a sec. Mystical Sand Waifu. So this card is staple in the deck, okay. Well, we'll have to see when it's released then, or at least go through the field spells. It seems more like a Cyclist that's Searcher, so it's kind of hard to talk about until we go through the actual cards it's searching for. Alright, first Hermos card. So if you remember from Hermos from earlier, basically, sends one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard of the type that's listed on a fusion monster. this is the first of those fusion monsters. Where was it? Rocket Hermos Cannon. Must be special summoned with Claw of Hermos using a warrior monster, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If this card is special summoned, target one other face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it. It can make a second attack during each battle phase. Also, if it attacks a advantage monster, inflicts damage to your opponent. So, kind of hard. This card is probably the weaker of all the three fusions. I have read through them earlier, spoiler alert. But this is probably the weaker of the three fusions, I think. Basically just giving you a double attack, which isn't particularly useful. Although if you are running Hermos, you will probably have this in your extra deck, especially if you have a way of summoning a warrior. It's just purely because there is another one that uses a warrior, I think. Is there another one that uses a warrior? Maybe not. But anyway, if you are running a warrior in your deck, you'll just run this anyway, because why not? But it's probably the weaker of them. Plus, most decks that run Hermos probably won't be running warrior, because I think it's probably the weaker of them. Unless you're going for the more spicy deck, which I'll show at the end, since all the knights are warriors. And an interesting thing is, there's also a Dark Magician fusion that is also a warrior that can be used this card with, which we'll talk about later on too. But can be used, probably the weaker of the fusions though. Next, we have Magic Hammer. So this card is actually useful. Reminds me of the old UA trap card. Must be summoned with Claw of Hermos using a spellcaster type monster, so it can be used in Dark Magician, for example. And can always special summon by other ways. If this card is special summoned, target one other face-up monster on the field, equip that target to this card. Keep in mind that this is special summoning using a card. This uses a card in your hand, I'm pretty sure. It's hand, right? Yeah, from your hand, so you can. It's not sending something from your field for the fusion summon, so it's a pretty strong effect to get these out easily. If this card is special summoned, type one face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it. At the start of the damage step, if this battles an opponent's monster, you can roll a 6-sided die and banish that monster until the standby phase of the turn after this card's activation. N being the result. So, super powerful effect. Reminds me a lot of the UA card. If this ever swings into a monster, before the battle even starts, it banishes that monster. Super cool card. There's a very good chance this will see play if Hermos is played. Not sure if Hermos will be played though, but if it is, this is one of the cards you'll be using for it. Very, very, very strong effect. Super similar to the UA trap card, if you know what that is. The problem with Hermos fusions, you need 2 monsters to make them work. One to fusion to and one already in the field to equip to. True, but one has to be in your hand. It's not like you have to have 2 on the board. You just have to have your spellcaster on the board and any random spellcaster in your hand. Honestly, not that hard in a spellcaster deck to have a spellcaster in your hand and one on the board. This card has a very good chance to see play, and will see play at least on release, people trying out the deck, because it is pretty good. Alright, next. Red Eye's Black Dragon Sword. Must be special summoned with the Claw of Hermos using a dragon type monster, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If this card is special summoned, target one face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it. It gains 1000 attack and 500. It's 1000 attack and 500 attack and defense for each dragon monster on the field and in the graveyard. Super interesting card because this could, in a way, be useful in something like Red Eyes. It's kind of hard to review this card because most of the Hermos cards are going to be based around things like Dark Magician and shit. I haven't really looked towards the dragon aspect of Hermos yet, so it's kind of... Yeah, I don't know. It's the effect isn't exactly weak. It's a free 1000 attack buff, but it's not as strong as the other Hermos cards. Like, it's not nowhere near as strong as the previous. Having a free banish at the start of every battle phase, or every attack, ridiculously strong. So the start of a damage step, is this when it just battles? Yeah, if it just battles, so if your opponent swings into it, or if you swing into a monster, super powerful. Like, this is a lot weaker compared to it, but 1000 attack isn't something to laugh about. Plus 500 attack for each dragon type, so it's like... It's literally a Buster Blader effect, so you can just equip it to your whatever, and you'll just get a free Buster Blader effect. I don't know. Could you speak Chinese? I cannot speak Chinese, my good sir. Hammer time. Hey, say my name. You really want me to try and pronounce your name? You're sure. Alright. Francisco Gonzalo Calderon Chavez. There we go, we'll go with that. Duel the fusions lose to Canadia. They're a quit spell, so yeah. Kind of. No, what? Yeah, most likely. You need to already have a monster in the field, though, or create a monster. Yeah, you have to have a monster on the field, of course. No, that's worked. Equip Buster later, Red Eye Sword. Alright. Rock Bombardment. So this is a card that's going to be used for Magnet Warrior decks, because they like to have rocks in the graveyard. So send one rock type monster from your deck to the graveyard and inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. So it may seem weak at first, but it may see play in Magnet Warrior decks if they're not consistent enough. Which I'm pretty sure Magnet Warriors at this point, with the monsters they've just been given, as we'll see in a bit, will be way too consistent to need this card. I think they'll easily be able to get the 3 monsters required in the graveyard, 4 monsters required, however many it is that need to go into the graveyard. They'll easily be able to do it. I don't think they'll need this card. But this can just be like a, what's the trap card called? What's the spell card called that sends a card to the graveyard that we don't have in Duel Links? It's like one of them anyway, but for magnets. There may be, I'm not sure if there's a way to abuse for rock type monsters, if there's a particular rock type monster that likes being in the graveyard. Honestly, I have no idea, haven't looked into that, but this is mainly aimed at magnets. And yeah, but why not use Neos? That's also true, Neos can do the exact same thing. But Neos stops special summoning, I think, and magnets are a special. Foolish Burial, that's it. Thanks, bud. So it's basically just a Foolish Burial, but for magnets, and it's a trap card, so it's specifically worse. Where's the donation go? I forgot to put it up. I should probably put it up now. Give me a sec, boys. I kind of forgot to put it up. I did say I would for the stream, so I'll put it up. Alright, there we go. Put it at... Here's 1 sec, boys. This won't take too long. Really? There you go. Why is that? Oh, that is showing on stream. It's just too high. Oh, God. Nope. Damn it. One second, lads. Holy shit. God, how is it harder to move this super donation goal? Alright, whatever. Get out of the way. Really? You're not gonna let me move you? How annoying. Maybe I can change the color of the text? Sorry guys, I did say I would do this, so I think I probably should. Has... Good. And does that show up? Let me see. There you go, now you can see it. Okay. Oh, you can only see half of it. Whatever, that'll do. I can't. I'm done. Alright. Now I've lost where I was up to. This one. Can't see the rest. Oh my god, I'm getting so triggered at this. Did it even change anything? Changed to me. It's not being very helpful. There you go. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, sorry boys. Thank you, Alex, for the sub. Alright. I'm a diehard fan of Tramids and they have always been underestimated, so I hope it now in Duel Links people finally recognise what they can do. No one used Trimid in the TCG, I'm so sad about that. When's this box out? In a couple of days, 2 days. We got every Trimid card besides the boss monster, which could easily be Block Dragon instead of that, so no biggie. Alright. Okay, so Akimbo Drakmord. The equipped monster cannot attack. Destroy the equipped monster at the end of its controller's second turn this card was activated. At the time, this card returned to its owner's hand. Interesting card. So you equip something. If your opponent has no removal, it's a good card because you just equip it to your opponent's stuff and then it dies after 2 turns and that card can't attack, so it's just essentially useless. But it can always be used as tribute and stuff, so it's kind of similar to Floodgate, I guess. Unfortunately though, people do run back row removal, so I don't know why you would use this card over some kind of instant removal. But it's kind of an option, at least for free-to-play players, I think. Yeah, maybe for free-to-play players is a good option, but I don't think unless it's some kind of searchable card for some card later on in this box, I don't think you'd use this over, like, Tribute to the Doomed or something. You'd just use that instead, right? Or just Canadians or something, but it's good for free-to-play. Next. The Eye of Timaeus. So here is the big boy. This card is always treated as a Legendary Dragon, so the final Legendary Dragon. Target 1 Dark Magician monster you control, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that lists the fusion monster as fusion material. So this card can be used to fusion summon. Let me just swap to Duel Links real quick so we can see the Duel Links screen. Hey, where is it? This one? Alright, so this card is going to be used in Dark Magician. There is no way you wouldn't use this card. It's actually insane. It basically means you can fusion summon using only Dark Magician as material. You don't need the other fusion material monster. So if we look up Dark Magician cards, you'll see there are 2 in Duel Links already and 1 that's going to be added from this box. So we've got Dark Paladin, which is already a card that sees play, so it's already a strong card. Everyone knows what this card does. Very powerful effect. Super good against dragons, which are very meta right now. And this Eye of Timaeus card can summon it with just 1 Dark Magician. That's all it needs. The other one is this card, which at first glance, 2200 attack, pretty useless card. Doesn't really do anything in particular. But you'll notice it is a warrior type. So if you're using Eye of Timaeus in a Hermos deck, so ones that use the other. Hang on, let me just bring up the other screen again because now you've seen the cards. Wait, I didn't get rid of the screen. Hang on, sorry. So Dark Paladin. Sorry, I wasn't showing the screen. I'm so dumb. There you go. Very powerful card. Already sees play. And the other one is Dark Flare Knight. Not a very powerful card, pretty weak, but as you'll see in a second, card does have its uses, because it can also be used, if you manage to use Eye of Timaeus to bring out Dark Flare Knight, you can then use Claw of Hermos with it to bring out that kind of stuff, because that needs to target a warrior. It also makes sense a bit later on when I show you a random deck list I've been thinking about for it. Because for now it just seems like a very meh thing. But yeah, this card is actually nuts. We'll definitely see play, 100%. If someone plays Dark Magician and they're not playing this card, they're playing the deck wrong. Card is disgusting. Alright. I'll talk more about these in a second. We go through the final fusion for it that comes in this box, because there's one more fusion card, and the 3 knights that we'll talk about, and their fusion. So, Tramid, King, Golem. Another one of the Tramid cards. This is another one of their field spells. So, searchable from the card we went through earlier. All rock monsters in the field gain 500 attack. If a Tramid monster you control battles, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. If this face-up card in the field zone is sent to the graveyard, you can summon one Tramid monster from your hand. Alright. So if a Tramid monster your opponent, monster you control battles. Wait, so it's like an Archimedes kind of effect? So it gives your Tramid monsters like an Archimedes effect. Well, that's pretty useful. You might be slight to these Tramid cards. Archimedes is a pretty powerful effect. This is exactly like Archimedes? Yeah, that's a pretty powerful effect. I don't know, 500 attack boost, searchable card. This is a searchable card, by the way. I don't know, Tramid's looking pretty good. To be fair, Archimedes kind of effects aren't that useful right now, since most people are using things like Treacherous and Canadius, they're all activatable. But this does screw Wall of D and Drowning and all that kind of stuff, which is a very, very useful effect to have. Also, it stops things like Bacon Savers and stuff like that, and Krebos, which are pretty useful right now, so pretty meta. Yeah, and like Dashnax says in the chat, 1000 damage boost if you use this with Dancer. Alright. Hang on, my headset's dying. This may freeze the stream for a second. I apologize if it does this. For some reason, my computer hates me when I plug in my headset. Alright, I'll give it a sec, make sure we're all good. Hopefully my stream didn't crash. Sometimes plugging my headset does do that. I don't have a clue why. Alright, I'll go on. If there's anything wrong, tell me in the chat, like my stream's frozen or something. During the end phase, if this... Oh, sorry, Dogu. Very cute looking card, by the way. Pretty adorable. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there by an opponent's card effect, this turn, while in your possession, you can add from your deck to your hand one monster to a different level from the monster you control and the monster in your graveyard. If this was sent there by an opponent's card effect, seems pretty bad to me. Why? Your opponent doesn't really remove things. It's super reliant on your opponent removing stuff, which they do occasionally, but it's very reliant on that. Is this some kind of bait card? You're going to play this in defense along with your other really powerful defense monsters? Yeah, I don't see this card seeing play unless there's something that can be used with this card in this particular set. Seems really bad. There's a bunch of shenanigans you can do with King Golem. For example, if your opponent attacks, you can swap to King Golem, then use something and your opponent can't respond. Shooting King Golem slain later on in the box. The Tramid card can't... Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec when we get through to it. Revival Golem. The effect of Revival Golem can only be used once per turn. When this card is sent from your deck to the graveyard, activate one of these effects. Special summon this card from your graveyard. Add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So we went to a trap card earlier that works with this. The trap card sends a rock card to the graveyard, so it has synergy with that. 2100 is a pretty weak stat line though, honestly. For today's meta, maybe for all back in the past of Duel Links. So unless there's a particular reason you want this, like some kind of synchro summon or something. I don't know if there's a bunch of magnet cards that send particularly rock type cards and not magnets themselves. But I don't see why you'd send this to the graveyard over a magnet warrior anyway. Yeah, I don't think this will get play. I don't think. Unless you want to use it for some kind of synchro kind of thing. Or for grass is greener. But, I don't really see it. Maybe some card later on in this box that kind of warrants use for this. But I don't think. Yeah, maybe a synchron deck. Maybe that's it. Cryo Sphinx. When a monster is returned from the field to the owner's hand, the owner of the returned monster selects and sends one card in their hand to the graveyard. That's also something it can be used for. It can be used for tribute summons. Since these decks do need tribute summons since they are level 6. So that's something I didn't think of. When a monster is returned from the field to the owner's hand, the owner of the returned monster selects and sends one card in their hand to the graveyard. Seems pretty weak, honestly. Not really powerful effect unless they have nothing in their hand. I guess. If they've got Sling in their hand. Plus your opponent gets to select which card they send. I don't know. Bit of hand hate, but it seems pretty bad. Although it is a rock card, so there is a bunch of rock stuff in this box that can make this more powerful. This does make it a higher kind of rating. Very low attack stat line though, so it's obviously a card you want on defense, I guess. Seems pretty bad though. I don't know. If it was random or the card that you send, I don't. Seems pretty bad. Alright. Hermos Sphinx. Your opponent a face down defensive monster as an attack target. Don't you normally want your opponent to swing at face down defense position monsters? Isn't that kind of like, normally if they're face down, there's normally a reason for it, like if they're flip, if they've got super high defense or something? I think this card's gonna be complete garbage. Yeah, it seems pretty bad to me. Now here's a card that looks like absolute cancer. This is a cancer player's dream, I think. This card cannot be normal summon a set. This card cannot be special summoned except by turning one Sphinx monster. Each time an Earth monster is flip summoned, or this card remains face up on the field, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. So if you can somehow get out a bunch of flip stuff that can re-flip itself face down, you can just keep inflicting 1000 points of damage. It's like if you use AD changer on something, maybe? Oh, I don't know. I feel like this is the only saving hope that these Sphinx cards got. I don't know if there's any other. You guys have to tell me if there's any other Sphinx cards in the game. Because this card does need a Sphinx monster to special summon it. But if there's any other Sphinx cards that are easily summoned, this card could have a fun meme deck around anyway. Really, really big boy. So keep in mind this is a special summon, so main use a tribute, but it's a special summon. So it has 4000 defense and it'll be face up when you play it. You don't have to set it. You can just special summon it in defense position. So you can special summon it with the 4000. You see the Trimid card from the normal cards? Yeah. Hazy Flame Sphinx works, I think. Does it? Okay. Interesting. Alright, next card. Here's the Legendary Knights. There's 3 of these boys. Legendary Knight Hermos. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned with Legend of Heart. And cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up spell trap card on the field, banish that target. Once per turn, when this card is targeted for an attack, you can target one effect monster in your graveyard until the end phase of the next turn. This card becomes that target and replace the effect with that card's effect. So honestly, its effects aren't that great. You kind of would have to have a really big boy in your graveyard for it to be that useful, or have some kind of effect in your graveyard already. So probably not that useful. Plus your opponent can just choose not to target it. It does get to remove one face-up spell or trap card, but there's not that many face-up spell or trap cards that are useful outside of field spells maybe. As long as they're continuous. But the reason this card may be good, well, it's good in the main deck, is because obviously the way to summon it is Legend of Heart. So, remind you, 2,000 life points, tribute 1 warrior, then get rid of as many of the legendary dragon spells that you've got. Special summon a bunch of these boys, fill up your board with all the knights. And they can be special summoned from anywhere, your hand, graveyard, your deck, special summon them out. So the main kind of... Alright, I'll go through all three of them before I give you my my deck idea for these guys. You can read the Manifest Trap, true. Cannot be normal summoned to set, must be done with Legend of Heart, and cannot be special in other ways. When this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up spell trap card on the field, banish that target, same as the previous. When this card is targeted for attack, you can target one trap card in your graveyard, set that target. That set card cannot be activated, or can be activated during this turn. So, this card, a lot more of a useful effect. You can use it to select any of your trap cards that you use in your deck, so if you run things like Canadia, Wall of D, you can bring that, put it back on the field, use it. So it can be a good way of protecting your monsters. Pretty useful effect. Or in a Dark Magician deck, you can use the new Dark Magician Ultra Rare, which we'll talk about in a bit. And the final one is... Why did I click off it and not just click the arrows? Legendary Knight Timaeus. Probably the more famous name. Same effect as the previous. When this card is targeted for attack, you can target one spell card in your graveyard, set that target. So if you're using this in something like the Timaeus stuff, because I don't think it banishes, right? Does it banish? It does banish actually, never mind. But if you do happen to have more of these legendary cards, you can just add one back to your hand. Or set one of them, I mean, sorry. I've lost sight, where was I? There we are. So... yeah, the main thing about these cards though, when they're being used with the three legendary things is that they are warriors. So I believe they have synergy with Hermos as well. Where's Hermos? Yeah, he's there. Send monster from your hand to the graveyard of the type as an fusion monster. So if you use for these cards, which are warriors, you can use it with the warrior one, which is this one, which is a warrior fusion monster needed. And I think it's got a spell one as well. Yeah, warrior as well, which we'll talk about in a sec too. So these cards can be used as fusion material for Hermos, so they're not always going to be dead cards in your hand. They can actually be useful. So there can be a good meme deck that can come out of this, which is what I'll be trying first when I try to make a video. And I'll have a deck list at the end of the stream, a sample one, that will show off the deck list I'm thinking of. But it will be using these legendary knights, because they can go from anywhere. So if you use Hermos on this card and it goes to the graveyard, you can still special summon it. So you only need one copy of each in your deck. But yeah, it's a pretty memey card. I don't expect it to be a meta card, but it will be very, very fun. Plus it has, 2,800 attack. It's not a horrible stat line. Anyway, back to something that may be more meta. Tramid Hunter. If a field spell card face up on the field, you can normal summon... you can normal summon one rock monster in addition to your normal summon or set. So this can be used really good for tribute summoning. So the Sphinx stuff maybe, as well as the actual Tramid stuff. Once per turn, during your opponent's turn, you can target one Tramid field spell card in your field zone, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, activate one Tramid card from your deck with a different name. So it's another searcher card. Interesting. This one can be used in the same way the previous Tramid monster was, where you can search for your field spells. So I assume this would be another staple then, right? If the other one was. So I assume this will also be a staple, because the previous one was staple, this one will be as well, right? Both just searches, they're really good. Doesn't give you the attack buff the same one as the other one does, but it does give you a free normal summon, which is pretty useful. Especially if you can bring out... I keep forgetting the name of the other one. Where is it? Tramid something. Dancer. So if you can use this with Dancer, you can have both of them on the board, and they can go through so many field spells. They go through, what, 3 or 4? They go through three field spells, right? Just with the 2 of them? That's pretty nuts. Nasus OP. Does look a bit like Nasus. Does look a bit like Nasus. Dancer Hunter a staple? Yes, this card would be used in the Hunter deck, or the Trimid deck, and it looks pretty solid. They all give attack buffs, you can get things really powerful. All I've heard from the Trimid archetype is from chat and from Discord. It's from people talking about how they didn't include Sphinx, which I assume must be their boss monster. So I don't know if that's going to affect the deck too much, but from looks to the field spells alone, I don't know, the deck seems like it might be alright. We'll see though. Seems pretty good. Anyway, Triant Burst Dragon. Must be summoned with the Fang of Critias using Tyrant Wing, and can only special summon by the ways. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls, once each. You tap one face-up monster control, equip this monster to that target against 400 attack and defense, and it can make 3 attacks. Okay, so in my opinion, this card won't see play, purely because the trap card that's used with it, like I said earlier, not very good. Tyrant Wing is this trap card down here, already doesn't see any play, not a particularly good card, it's just pretty meh. So using this card means you have to run 3 of that, because it'll be kind of dumb to not run 3 of that if you want to try and special summon this card. I don't think it will see any play. This card may be pretty good, but yeah, it does not seem very good. Honestly, I don't like this card at all. I don't like, until they add more cards for Critias to target, I don't like the one they've got already. So I don't think this will see play. I may be wrong, but I don't like it. Master also has the effect, but its first effect is the weirdest one. Be glad they didn't add that because it's insane. Alright. Alright, here is the big meme boy. Timaeus, the Knight of Destiny. So this card needs the 3 legendary knights we went through earlier to summon it. Must be special summoned from your extract by sending the above cards you control to the graveyard. Doesn't need polymerization. It's unaffected by other card effects. So keep that in mind, boys. This card cannot be affected by any card effects. Very, very, very strong effect. So it's the same as the Exodia card that was released a while ago. Once per battle, if this card battles during damage calculation in either player's turn, you can make this card's attack and defense become equal to the attack of the monster on the field with the highest attack. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon 3 legendary knight monsters from your hand, deck, and or graveyard, ignoring their summoning conditions. So basically, this card will always equal the biggest monster your opponent has, or the biggest one just on the field in general. Is that how it works? Yeah, so this card can always equal your opponent's monsters at worst, or just be a really big boy, and it can easily trade into your opponent's monsters, and if it does, it will then special summon your 3 knights back. So you can get this guy out, trade with any monster you like, and it'll give you your 3 monsters back, which I believe can then continue the battle phase, right? Yeah, so you can use this, trade into a really big thing your opponent has, get your 3 knights back, and then all 3 of them can also attack. So if you are running a meme deck with the 3 knights, you'll run this card for the lols. Pretty funny card. Would love to see it get play. And I will be trying to make this card work. This was the main deck I'm excited for, is trying to make these dumb knights work. Super anime. Super anime. Would love to see it. Is it meta? Hell no. At least I don't think it will be. But it'll be hella fun. Question, can activate its effect through Archimedes? Because if it can't, King Golem deals with this big boy. Unaffected by other card effects. Archimedes stops me activating effects. I don't think so. I think its effect will still work, right? Does this effect still work? You made this card's attack and defense. I think unaffected by card effects means it would, right? Surely it can still work, right? If anyone in the chat knows, please let me know, because I would say it would work through Archimedes, but would have to see. I'm not 100% on that one. I think it will. Alright, Catapult Zone. Now here's a field spell that looks pretty fun. Once per turn, if a monster you control will be destroyed battle, you can send one rock-type monster from your deck to the graveyard instead. Stick this in... So this card will be good in magnets, and it'll also be good in the Tramid stuff, right? Maybe? I'm not sure what the Tramid stuff they need this, but goddamn this card seems pretty good. Put this in your Magnet Warrior deck and you'll get as many magnets in the graveyard as you like. Your magnets are now invincible. Super, super good field spell. I don't know. This card should make a lot of rock decks powerful, because you cannot kill rock. Any rock type deck, you can no longer destroy monsters by battle until they run out, which is like, if you're running a rock deck, that could take a long while. Actually, sorry, it's only once per turn. I'm actually retarded. Still could be really good. It's like, it kind of works similar to that trap card that we were talking about earlier, just sends a free rock. I don't know. Card seems pretty good. May not be ridiculously good, because it is only once per turn. I did read that wrong at the start. Thought it wasn't once per turn, so that would be pretty nuts. Once per turn does make it a lot worse, but I don't know. Could be alright. We'll see. It depends on if something like Magnet Warriors needs more support on getting cards in the graveyard. If they don't really need it because they're already consistent enough, they won't run this card. But if it does need more support, then this would be a pretty good one to put in there. It is once per turn though, so it's not as strong as I thought it was. I'm a bit dumb. Could be good though. It just really depends on if the rock decks need the kind of effect this gives. It's not a bad effect by any means, but if the rock decks don't need it, then it won't be run. Because magnets may already be consistent enough in getting stuff in the graveyard. And the protection effect isn't all that powerful. It is just stopping one destruction. Anyway, next. Bad in Trimids and magnets. It might be good in magnets. I have no idea about Trimids. Probably bad in Trimids if they don't need the stuff in the graveyard. Anyway, Tramid Cruiser. Each time a rock-type monster is normal summoned, gain 500 life points. So not as good as the other ones with the basic effect, I think. If a Tramid monster is normal summoned, you draw one card and discard one card. Pretty good effect. If this face-up card on the field zone is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Tramid monster from your deck to your hand. So you can use the other cards, like Dancer and the other dude, to search for this, and then send this to the graveyard using their effects to search for Cruiser. So you could use... Well, that's a cool effect. Alright, so we use... Where is he? Hunter, right? So if you use Hunter to send that to the graveyard to search for... Oh, that's gonna be... Wait, you could... That's so cool. So you could use Hunter with the field spell already on the board. So Hunter with this guy already on the board. Where is it? Send this to the graveyard to bring out... Add something to your deck. So you'd add something like Dancer. Then because of this guy's effect, where you can do an extra normal summon, because this is a rock, right? Yes, so you can then normal summon this. That's cool as fuck. So that's an easy way to search out this guy and summon it, if you've just got Hunter and Cruiser. So maybe, I'm not rolling that combo, right? That seems super good. Hunter and Cruiser. Interesting. Wacky rock stun. I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, it's a bad game. Pokemon is where it's at. Why are you on a Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream then? I've never actually played Pokemon the card game. I've owned the cards but never played it. And 1,000 attack boost? Yeah, seems super good. That seems like a nasty combo. Tramid's can only swap during the opponent's turn. Also, if these guys can be used during your opponent's turn, swapping the stuff. Oh, so during your opponent's turn they can only do it, right? Oh, okay. So that makes it a little bit weaker, because it will search for... It does search for one, but it doesn't let you normal summon, because it's during your opponent's turn. Okay. So that combo isn't as good as I originally thought, because as I've been pointing out, it's only during your opponent's turn. You can swap them. Not quite as good. Still a good searcher though. Good way of searching. But not as good as originally thought. Alright, next one. Goddess Boast. This is the other Hermos card that uses a warrior. Must be special summoned with Claw of Hermos using a warrior monster and can be special summoned by the ways. Target one face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it. While this card is equipped to a monster by this effect, negate the first effect activated by your opponent during the battle phase. Also, after that, the equipped monster can make a second attack during the battle phase. Very, very, very good card. So, this means things like anything battle phase related, your opponent can't really do anything about it. Like if they use their... Yes, if your opponent uses something like Karibo, negates the Karibo, it gets the attack, and it can make a second attack during the battle phase. So if your opponent does choose to use something against this, it gets negated, and you get an extra attack. Super, super cool card. So if Hermos does get play, and you have a warrior, such as the Knights, this card will get good play. Super good card. I'm excited to try and use this one. If we can get a Hermos kind of deck to work, this card will definitely be used in it. Alright. Haven't I already gone through Burst Dragon? Wait, did I just skip Goddess Bow at some point? Wait, I haven't gone through Goddess Bow. Have I skipped this card already? When I was just talking about stuff? I must have skipped it already. Huh. Interesting. Because I definitely went through these cards. I must have skipped this one. Anyway. So, Block Dragon. So this is apparently meant to be the boss monster for the Trimid, since they don't have their boss monster. I think everyone was saying. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 earth monsters from your hand and or graveyard. And cannot be special summoned by other ways. This can be used with magnets or with Trimids. Rock type monsters you control cannot be destroyed except by battle. Pretty useful effect. Only a lot of stuff is banished right now, but it is pretty useful against something like Treacherous and, you know, stuff like that. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add up to 3 rock type monsters from your deck to your hand whose total levels equal 8. So this card is destroyed, you can then add 3 rock monsters to your hand. Interesting. But it has to equal 8, so it's not particularly useful in magnets, right? Because magnets are all 4s and 3s. Oh, it's up to, so you can just add 2 rock monsters. Okay, so it can be useful in magnets too. So this is the big word that special summons himself, right? That protects rock monsters. And if used with Trimids, you can get this card up to 1 billion attack. Because it gives like 1,000 attack buff during your opponent's turn. So you have a 3,500 attack block dragon that can't be destroyed by card effects. Not too useful into things like Wall of D, but still pretty useful card. What, 3,500 attack though isn't all that much, especially with beatdown decks going around, so I'd really have to get a lot of attack. We'll see. I'm not sure about Trimids after seeing this is what's meant to be their boss monster. You skipped Tramid Fortress? Did I? Fortress. Oh, this one. All rock type monsters on the field gain 500 defense. Tramid monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. Interesting. That's kind of what the other card was already doing, so... If that's your boss monster and using this as well, I don't know. Then you don't really need that card's effect anyway. Interesting. I guess because you're swapping them out, it'll give them an effect, a chance to remove. Unless you can chain it. I guess you can chain it probably. If this face-up card on the field zone is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Tramid monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So I guess the use of this card is... Can you use this as like a chain to like stop your opponent's stuff? So if your opponent does target one of your Tramid monsters with a destruction effect, can you chain that? Once turned during your opponent's turn, you can target one Tramid. Is that how it works? So use it as a chain? Like if your opponent targets Hunter with a card effect to destroy it, can you then activate Hunter's effect to swap out the field spell for the field spell that stops them being destroyed? Is that the aim of it? If so, that'd be pretty cool. That's a cool ass effect then, because you bait out things like Treacherous, because that means you can't actually Treacherous Trap Hole any of the Hunter decks if they've got their effects up still. Any idea when the box to come out? The box is coming out in 2 days. In game, you can check by looking at it, it'll tell you in your time zone. Damn, that seems actually pretty nuts. Trimates might be fun to mess around with, man. I might give these a go. We'll see. They all seem very cheap, actually. Super cheap. If Block Dragon's your boss monster, is there any other rock monsters you want to use with Trimates that are already in the game that are going to be your boss monster, or is it basically just the cards in this box already? This, I don't know. These cards seem pretty fun. I might mess around with them. In the TC, you use Needle Sealing, Chain Hunter, swap for Fortress. Ooh, that's cool. We've got Needle Sealing in this game, right? We could try that. That's a cool effect. I like that. Damn. Thanks for the idea, bud. I'll give that a shot. If we can get a lot of stuff out, we'll try. Anyway. Enough about Block Dragon, we'll go into the next card. So apparently I heard this card was banned in the TCG for a while, if it's not currently banned. Doki Doki, Gaia Plate, Ties of Brethren. Oh, Ties would be cool. Oh, does Ties work with these? Oh, that'd be so cool. Oh, I've got Master coming up. So it's Master, Hunter, and the other one. Oh, that'd be cool. Dude, I gotta give that a shot. Alright, so that's this next. So I'll try to make a Hermos, Legendary Dragon, Legendary Knight deck first, and then I'll try Trimates, I think, because they seem real fun and pretty cheap. So I'll give them a shot. Alright, enough of that. We'll talk about the, move on to the next one. So, this card apparently was banned. Cannot be special summoned. If this card is normal summoned or flip face up, target one face up monster on the field, change the target face down defense position. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was normal summoned or flipped face up, return it to your hand. So basically it's used with what, flip archetypes, so you can just flip them again. Alright, so someone in the chat's got to tell me why this card's particularly useful, because I don't really see it. It can make crawlers good, because crawlers can't turn themselves face down, so this card can turn crawlers face down. That's a bit of a meme. And turn your opponent's stuff face down. You wouldn't want to use this in Subterra, because Subterra's already turned themselves face down, so why would you need this card to do so? Makes quick work of Xian, I guess. That's a pretty useful way to use it. Good way of dealing with cards like Xian. It's a monster Canadia, but Amano seems better. I mean, to be fair, Amano would negate your own effects, but yeah. Ghost Tricks. And it seems like a pretty bad card. I don't know why it was banned in the TCG. It must have had some use that was broken. Is it banned around 2005? Oh, okay. Using Chaos, okay. So it's not very that useful anymore. Well, hence why it's unbanned. Alright, we'll go on to the next card then. Guardian Ethos. So this is a card that was used with something earlier. I can't quite remember. One of the equip spells, I think. If you have no monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Already a pretty useless effect, because you're most likely going to have cards in your graveyard. Monsters anyway. You send one of your equipped spell cards, equipped to this card to the graveyard, then target up to 3 monsters in your opponent's graveyard, banish those targets. If you do, this card gains 500 attack for each monster banished. Seems real bad. It's good for turn... It's not even good on turn 1, because your opponent won't have 3 monsters in their graveyard. It's just to be used later on in the duel, when they have monsters in their graveyard. So against something like Neos, it's good, maybe. So it's a turn 1 play, right? So you use it on turn 1. You special summon it, but in turn 1, unless your opponent happens to have Neos and stuff in their graveyard, or a Neos kind of deck. I mean, it's good against Red Eyes too. You can banish the Red Eyes stuff, special summon it on turn 1. So it's super good going second if you're against something like Red Eyes or Neos. So going second, this card's insane versus Red Eyes. So you just banish all the stuff they just put in their graveyard. Same with Neos. Going first, it's completely useless unless you can keep monsters out of your graveyard. If you have no monsters in your graveyard, could this be used for some random synchro deck? Because you can have, what is it, level 8? Level 8 and then something else to get a level 9 out, a level 10 tuner. Because you special summon this card, then put down your level 1. Interesting. It could be used in a weird ass tuner deck. That'd be pretty fun. Is this a free 2,500 attack monster for... If you just your turn 1, it's useless after turn 1 though, so it's a bad draw. But if you get in your first turn hand, it's a pretty good card. Metaphys, that's true. It's an anime card. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So it can be used for some random ass synchro thing. If you've got some particular synchro you want that's like level 9, so like Vermilion or something. I don't think you'll see play though, because after turn 1 it is literally a dead card. Especially in synchro decks, because you'd have stuff in your graveyard. Otherwise, maybe useful. It's a very, very good counter and like a side deck card against something like Neos, or especially if you know if you're going second. Like if you're in a tournament and you know that game 2 you're going second, you can then just use this against the Red Eyes and you just kind of win instantly. You just banish the shit the Red Eyes are going to summon. I don't know. Interesting. Interesting card. I know you're looking at it wrong, but it seems like fun. Alright. The final Tramid Monster Boy. So this is the other one that you can use with Ties of Brethren, which seems pretty nuts. Once per turn, you can send one face-up Tramid card you control to the graveyard. Then target one set card on the field, destroy it. Oh, that's a useful effect. Okay. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can target one Tramid field spell card in your field zone and send it to the graveyard. And if you do, activate... So same thing again, another searcher. So if you have all 3 out with Brethren and their thing, goddamn. You can do so much searching. So much searching. By the way, are these once per turn? Are these on like... Oh, so it's not till the end of the turn. They just gain 500 attack permanent. Oh, damn. So if you get these three boys out and they just keep swapping out the field spells, you can buff the shit out of your stuff. Is this dude permanent? Oh, that's also permanent. So you can just give yourselves a 3/1000 attack buff, and you can just keep doing that. Plus you make them immune to battle effects. So what else can they be immune? So they're immune to battle effects. Oh, sorry, the destruction effects outside of battle. They can get an Armades-like effect. Very, very interesting. Definitely have to give these guys a shot. So let's go get like... Dancer is not hard once per turn. Wait, Dancer's not once per turn? Once per turn. Isn't it once per turn? Am I reading this wrong? Once per turn you can tile one train, once a card you go over... Yeah, it's once per turn, right? So it goes to 2800 with Dance plus Field Spell. The boosts only apply as long as the fields are face up. Dancer is the kingdom only if it's face up. Multiple dancers can be used. Oh, okay, so two dancers together. Oh, we have the non-copyright music. The hell? Alright, so we'll go on to the next one. Do the next card. Alright, so the Magnet Boys. Gamma, the Electromagnet Warrior. So magnets were very fun to play in the past, although magnets look like a very expensive deck to build now, from being a very free-to-play deck. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from your hand, except Gamma Electromagnet Warrior. So most of the Magnet Warriors you'll see, or the boss monsters, the aim is to get as many magnets out as possible, so you can go full Power Rangers, combine them all together, and get out your boss monster. So this guy allows you to get out one level 4 lower magnet from your hand, except Gamma. You can use the effect again once per turn. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can attribute this card to summon one level 4 Magnet Warrior. So it can get one out from your hand and get another one out from your deck. So basically just another way of searching. I know this card will already be good because the one we have in Duel Links already that we only have one copy of basically does this effect. So it should be pretty good. It should be a good card. I'll just go through all of them, then we'll go to the boss monster, because they basically all do the same thing. The aim is that they're searchers. Gamma isn't great though, you want magnets in the grave, you want the field. Generally, if you're sending one to the field with only 1500 attack, your opponent will kill it. It just means you won't be able to summon your boss monster until the next turn, which is fine anyway, because his tribute effect is during your opponent's turn anyway. I'm pretty sure it'll be good because of the Magnet Warrior that we used to use in the old Magnet decks did the same effect, basically, and it was already used. Alpha the Electromagnet Warrior. If this card's normal summon or special summon, you can add one level 8 Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. So, I can't remember if you need the Magnet Warrior boss monster in your hand, but I assume you're looking at this effect you do. So the aim is to get your boss monster in your hand with this card. You can only use the effect of Alpha once per turn. During your opponent's turn, you tribute this card to summon mana from your deck. Again, pretty useful effect. So this card can search for your boss monster, and it can tribute itself to get another magnet out, and you need as many magnets as possible. Skip to Legendary Night Fusions. We've already been through Legendary Night Fusions, bud. Just scroll back in the streams. Drag the little red bar and drag it backwards. We've already been through them, bud. It's going backwards, so we're going up to the top. We started at the bottom, now we're here. God damn it. It's quite a shit song. Alright. Here is the other Dark Magician fusion. So this is the one you'll use again with Timaeus. Super useful cards we talked about earlier. So you use Dark Magician and Timaeus and you can summon this boy. If this card is special summoned, target any number of spell cards in any graveyards, banish those targets, and if you do, this card gains 100 attack for each. So this card will honestly have way more than 2,900 attack. How much though depends on what you're playing against, what kind of cards you're running. Generally it will have a bit more than Blue Eyes though, so it can be a useful card against something like that. If this card is destroyed, you can target one spellcaster type monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. So generally, if you use Dark Magician to summon this guy, you'll be able to summon Dark Magician if this guy decides to cark it. So, pretty good effect in that if this card is destroyed, you have something to fall back on. By itself though, it's not that particular powerful card, and resummoning a Dark Magician isn't that powerful of an effect, except in a Dark Magician deck. Because there's no real reason. Dark Magician itself is a pretty weak card, so unless you have cards that synergize with Dark Magician, I don't see why you'd want to use it. Yeah, it's a pretty good card. It's not a bad card. If it dies, you do get a pretty solid monster back out. Over 3,000 attack. Could go anywhere of like 3,500 if you're lucky. We'll see. It's probably a card you'll be running in your Dark Magician decks anyway, because why wouldn't you? It's just a free... If you've got your Dark Paladins in there, you might as well have this guy as well, in case you need something that isn't Dark Paladin for some reason. But, we'll see. When is the box coming? Should be like 2 days-ish. Just look in game, Andre. It literally says in-game when you click the little box thing and you just look at it. Oh yeah, also, as Belgus just pointed out, super good into spell books. You banish your opponent's spell books. Though, to be fair, they can just chain the spell books to this card, right? Oh, can they? If this card is special summon, targeting I think they can. They can just chain the spell book to it. Alright, next. Sword Ruler Archfiend. One tuner, one or more non-tuner monsters. So an easy card to summon, just level 8, similar to like Stardust Dragon. If this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, gain life points equal to that monster's original attack in the graveyard. So it's an infinitely scaling card if it kills things. Interesting. Oh no, sorry. Wait. Never mind, I'm retarded. It's gaining life points, not attack. So it just gives you a bunch of life points back. So just a general side card so far. During either player's turn, when a spell trap card is activated, it targets only one psychic monster in your other cards. You can pay 1,000 life points to negate the activation. So this card should go on every Synchro deck, right? Because that is a pretty nice effect. You get to summon a 2,700 attack monster that your opponent can no longer target at the cost of your life points, and your life points are useless to you. They're just a resource. So this card will just be a staple in just random decks, right? Because this is basically just a better Stardust Dragon, because no one really cares about Stardust Dragon unless against Duel. Or like Ancient Gears. Not particularly good against Treacherous, because Treacherous summons targets 2 cards. It beats things like... Maximus is more attack than it though. I guess in this current meta it's not all that useful, because Subterra is just banished, so it doesn't care about that. And it has to be a spell or trap card, and Maximus isn't a spell. Maybe it won't be a staple in them, because no one really runs any kind of destruction effects. Oh, any target effects, I mean. Oh wait, sorry, no, it's not against destruction, it's against targeted spell or trap, so it's just good against things like Canadia and Treacherous. God, I'm dumb. Yeah, it's just, why was I thinking destruction effects? When a spell or trap card is during another player's turn, when a spell or trap card is activated, targets exactly one psychic monster. So treacherous treacherous against target 2, so it's useless into treacherous, but it's good into Canadia. Okay, that was really retarded of me. Yeah, immune to Econ and Canadia. Yeah. Did I just go over that Tramid spell? Wasn't it this one? Yeah, I already went over this one, bud. I spoke about it a few seconds ago, and someone pointed it out. Yeah, so this card will probably be a staple in Synchro decks, just kind of something to replace Stardust Dragon, maybe. It's got more attack than Stardust as well, right? Stardust is like 2,500. Better card than Stardust, and it's immune to a lot of back row that's being played, so it'll just get stuffed in there. Not something you're going to be building decks around though, but yeah. Alright, here is a very exciting card. Magician Navigation. Special summon one Dark Magician card from your hand, then special summon one level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster type monster from your deck. If you control a Dark Magician except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up spell or trap card your opponent controls. It has its effect negated until the end of this turn. So, all those annoying equip spells that you've been seeing, the ones that stop your card dying, this card can be used to negate them. Super useful against that. Can be used to negate field spells, can be used to negate any of the face-up things, like the Ancient Gear field spell that sits on the board, can be used to negate that. I believe it can't be used to just negate anything though, like if your opponent activates a spell, you can't just target that spell, right? It has to be just a target that's face up. Is that right? I assume. I'm pretty sure it's only against just random face-ups. It's not when your opponent activates a spell, you can just target that. But the idea that it summons a level it instantly gets out your Dark Magician, and it can instantly summon a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster type, and there's quite a few of them in the game. Oh, you can negate. Oh, it negates anything. Oh damn, this card is busted then. Wait, it actually negates anything? Oh damn, it's actually insane. Like, I already thought the card was good without that. Oh, so it's a trap in graveyard, so it becomes a quick effect. Ooh, damn. Didn't I go over the Try Midfield spell? Which one did I miss? We talked about this one. What's the other one in the normals? Yeah, because we already talked about this one, because someone pointed out to me a second ago and I went over it. There's no other normal one, right? Anyway, so another really important thing to note with this trap card is like what Varg is about to point out in the chat, it is searchable by Rod. It lists Dark Magician, so it's searchable by Rod. God damn, that's nuts. So you can nearly basically have 6 copies of this card on your deck if you run 3 copies of Rod. And if you use this with... Okay, so... Let me just bring... If you use this with... Let me just bring up... Duel Links for a second for the boys. Alright. So if you use this with... You go find our boy Arcana. A trick up our sleeve, which gives you a guaranteed Dark Magician in your starting hand. So you set this trap card on turn 1 after searching for it. You already have a Dark Magician in your hand. Perfect. You can activate it. So this card gives you guaranteed Dark Magician in starting hand. So 6 copies of that. Guaranteed Dark Magician in starting hand means you can guarantee use this. It's great. It's actually insane. And negates anything. That's actually insane. This deck, Dark Magician could be like a top tier deck just looking at this card alone. This card seems super nuts. God, I'm so surprised it becomes a quick effect when in the graveyard. That's nuts. I guess it's the same as the dinosaur trap card, so I should have known. 3 copies of this in every Dark Magician deck, 100%. You can easily even get away with 2 copies of this since it's searchable. As long as you've got 3 copies of Rod and 2 copies of this, that's basically nearly guaranteed in your starting hand anyway. So even budget versions of this list will be pretty busted. Yeah, you only actually need 2 copies of this since you get 5, so he gets a pretty good chance. What is that? Let's look up a, let me just do that real, oh, not that one. Yeah, so if we look up a, chance to draw calculator. Which one do I normally use? This one, I think. Alright, so we have 20 card starting deck. We have 5 copies, so we'll go with 5. So if we're only using 2 of the ultra rare, and we draw, what starting hands are what? 4 cards going first, isn't it? Is it 5? I think it's 4 going first. So you already have a 70% chance of opening it, and that is if you only have 5 of them. If you have 6 and you go second, so we have 6, that's the 3 rods and the 3 trap card, nearly a 90% chance to open it. Dude, that's fucking nuts. 90% chance to open that trap card. Oof. This isn't basic math, Andre. I don't know. You have to do a little bit of an equation to do chance to draw, because it's not saying 5 in 20. That's not what it is, because the chance increases every time you draw a card. So the first one is 5 in 20, then it goes to the next draw, the next draw, the next draw. Your chances get higher as soon as you draw a card. So it's not basic math. I mean, it could be considered basic math if you think that's basic math. But, yeah. Alright, so we'll go into the next card rather than keep getting excited about that one, because we can cream about that card all day. Debris Dragon. When this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 monster. Thank you for the sub, Jerry Bell. You can target 1 monster with 500 or less attack in your graveyard. Special summon that target in attack position, but its effects are negated. Cannot be used as single material except for the single summon of a dragon type monster. The other synchro material cannot be level 4. So, honestly, does not seem like a very good card. What's this one targeting exactly? I'm not sure what this is targeting exactly. So it's used for synchro decks and it's used for dragons, but the dragons can't be level 8. So it can't be Stardust, right? What exactly is this targeting? I don't know, this card seems really bad. I don't know if I'm missing something, but I can't really... Yeah, I don't see the use for it, especially since it's literally limiting itself to cannot be targeting another level 4. So it can't even be used with Stardust or the normal like level 8 dragons. You can make Black Rose. Is Black Rose a dragon? I guess it is Black Rose dragon, yeah. So you make Black Rose. So you make Black Rose. And Chain Dragon. So it's good for Black Rose, okay. Basically that's the main one. Alright, so we'll go back to talking about this in a second, because I've got more stuff to say about this one. We'll look at the cards it can actually target. Is Black Rose Dragon a dragon? Yeah, good point. I'm a dummy. I'm more associating it with being a plant than a dragon. Because it's just played in plant decks. Alright, yeah. Berserkion, the Electromagnet Magna Warrior. So the new boss new boss monster for magnets. Cannot be normal summoned. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 alpha, 1 beta, and 1 gamma from your hand, graveyard, and or face up from your monster zone. Wait. Oh, your hand, graveyard, or face up from your monster zone. Cool. So you just need all the other searches we talked about earlier to bring out the stuff from your deck. Should be pretty easy to do. You can banish one level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from your graveyard, then target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. Not a once per turn effect, so you can keep doing it if you have more Magnet Warriors in your graveyard. Super good, actually. You can get as many as you want in your graveyard, then summon this. You can just keep sending them. Destroy a bunch of stuff your opponent has. Pretty good card, actually. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its own possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target one of each you banished. Special summon them. Oh, very good. Gives you a very good chance at summoning it again. So you get this guy out, destroy a bunch of your opponent's stuff. If the opponent kills it, and they can't destroy your other cards, you can then just summon another one. So I guess you run just 2 copies of this card since he's also searchable by... Damn, this box actually seems super free-to-play friendly, right? Outside of Magician's Navigation, because you only need a couple of this Ultra Rare since it's searchable with... Where is he? Where is it? This one? No, Alpha. So if you had a couple of it depends on if Alpha's a 2 of in the box. Probably only a 1 of, actually. It's a mini box, right? Still these are 1 ofs. Interesting. If these are 1 ofs, they'd be kind of annoying. If they're 2 ofs, it's fine. 1 ofs will be pretty painful. It's a mini box, right? Still just 1 ofs. Might be expensive. Isn't Zero level 9? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Zero Eyes? It is level 9 because Blue Eyes is level 8 and goes up level 1, I think. Okay, that's another one I can be used for. Anyway, okay, so we'll talk about Magician's Navigation. So, what we're going to look at now is... So, when it is summoned, it will summon a Dark Magician, and it will also let you summon a level 7 Dark Spellcaster type, a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster type. So what exactly do we have in Duel Links? Let's go have a look. So one very obvious ones is we can summon another Dark Magician. The other is we can summon a Dark Magician Girl. What the hell is this? Okay. So in Summon Dark Magician, you can summon Dark Magician Girl. It can summon something like Breaker, one of the monster destroying card, one of the back row destroying cards. So we're looking for Dark, level 7 or lower, and Spellcaster. Yeah, okay, so these are all the cards you can summon. So, obviously we've got the Dark, you can summon more copies of your waifu right here. You can summon more Dark Magicians. It can be used to get out Toon Dark Magician Girl. Oh no, this can only be special summoned. Never mind. What else have we got? We've got... Anything else particularly useful outside of Breaker? Because we know Breaker is going to be useful. If you're running a dragon deck, interesting. You could use that. Okay, some Magician of Chaos. You can summon Rod, but you don't really want to do that because it's a normal summon. This card's useful. Your opponent cannot banish cards from either player's graveyard, so you can choose to get this if you want to stop things like Timaeus. Obviously Breaker, very good card. There's a lot of Dark Magician cards you can get out. I think that's it though, there's nothing else you really want. So it's not particularly that useful outside of just getting another Dark Magician. Alright, so final thing I'm going to do for the stream is I'm going to show off a random ass deck list I thought about memeing with. Completely meme worthy. It's not a competitive deck in the slightest. Stream is oh god, my own live stream. I think Kaiku's you can't banish cards, so I think it just works against Neos. I'm pretty sure. Where's Kaiku? Where are you, Kaiku? Where are you? When this card, your opponent cannot banish cards. Yeah, it's not monsters. It's just good against Neo stuff. Alright, so where is my... Ignore my own voice if you guys heard that. I apologize. Alright, so... This is the interesting deck that I thought of making. Completely retarded, but it should be fun. God damn it, I didn't actually, why didn't I just do this beforehand? Wouldn't that have made sense? Wait, does this already show on stream just from showing on this thing? It would, right? Give me one sec, boys. Just gotta get this actually working. There you go. Alright. So this is a very interesting deck I was thinking of. So you're guaranteed to start with your Dark Magician in hand, right? Then you use your trap card to special summon your Dark Magician, which is basically guaranteed with 3 Magician's Rod. It's so such a fucking retarded deck list. It's good. It'll be fun to try out though, because we got you've got your so this spell card here requires a where is it? This card. This card requires a warrior type monster. So you tribute 1 warrior type monster and banish the 3 legendary spells to get your 3 knights out. So the aim of this deck. Bring Yegon to the stream. He's not. I don't live with him anymore, dickhead. Yeg's in Melbourne. I'm in Adelaide. A bit far away. Plus, it's 4 a.m. Bud. Anyway, so it requires a knight monster. So you use this guy to get out your Dark Magician boy. Use Timaeus to then bring out knight, and then you use this spell card on knight to bring out the 3 boys. By the way, this card can also be searched for because it contains Dark Magician in its text, I believe. So use Rod to search for this or to search for this, whichever one you're missing. There's a super good chance you'll start with this in your opening hand and this card. This card is a very good deck fixer for this. So you can just go into Dark Paladin as your boss monster, or you can go into the cool ass combo of using... By the way, you can use these 3 knights are not necessarily dead draws in your hand, because you can use Timaeus to bring out Dark Paladin, and then use Hermos. How do you say his name again? Hermos. On one of the knights from your hand, then equip to your Dark Paladin one of the fusion cards. Yeah, it's gonna be real hard to kind of get your head around until you actually see it in play if you don't really understand what I'm trying to talk about. You think legendary cards can't be searched for? I might be wrong. Yeah. Timaeus? How's what Timaeus? Tim. This tells you what it searches by. Oh, so it can't be searched by it. Alright. Yeah, so it's searched by Dark. You can play with Dark Sage to search for it. Alright, so this card can't be searched for. God damn, it's fucking would be nuts if it was searched for though. Yeah, this is a meme deck I was looking at because I'm trying to find a way of playing these knights in a viable way, and then playing the Dark Magician's Dark seemed like so much fun. So this is a meme deck I wanted to try out. Probably gonna be complete and utter garbage and bricky as hell, but should be fun. Especially with this combo. I really want to try the combo using this really shitty Dark Knight dude. So if you somehow use Timaeus on your Dark Magician to get out this guy, you can then have a target for this to bring out your 3 knights. Oh, because it doesn't specifically list him. Oh, okay. Can I destroy enemies with this deck? Probably not. Just a good meme deck I thought about using. Oh yeah, and of course you can fuse the 3 knights to go to go beyond infinity and bring out the big boy. Yes, that's the meme deck I'll be trying on day 1. If it's complete and utter garbage, I'll try again with trying to just make these guys work. Probably without the Dark Magician guys. I don't know. Because the good thing about using these cards, right, is if I use all of them, goddamn can I clickbait the shit out of that. Think of how much clickbait is in these cards alone. Legendary Knights, Legendary Dragons, Dark Magician support. Oh god, the clickbait, it's everywhere. Oh, and my friends will be so confused. He'll be looking at this going, what the fuck do I Canadia? Do I Canadia this? Do I Canadia his fucking Flare Knight? No one is ever going to Canadia a Flare Knight, right? No one in their right mind would Canadia that. God, it's going to be utter shit, but it's going to be fun to play. I can't wait to lose like 600 drills in a row. And I'm going to play the shit out of it. I recorded that tiny twit. Alright boys, we've gone for an hour and 48 minutes. I should probably end it here so that people that watch the VOD don't complain. Thank you guys for watching. Obviously I'll probably do some streams of these new cards when they come out. Plenty of videos about them. Until then, I don't think I'll be doing... I might be doing a Duel Room stream before then, just for more filler, but I don't really have any other decks planned, because the Roman Mages were kind of lame. Which cards will you recommend to get 3? Literally 1 card. This boy. This card will be searchable, so you don't need 3 of it. This card is searchable by... this, so as long as you got a couple of these, you can search for your boss monster, doesn't matter. This card, 3 of will be absolutely nuts, but then again, you don't actually need 3 of this card because it is searchable by Magician's Rod. So like I said earlier when I did the card maths thing, it was like a 70% chance to open this in your starting hand as long as you have 3 copies of Rod and 2 of this, because you can search for it using Rod. So yeah. Super good card. You don't actually need 3 of it, but 3 of it would be fantastic. As for other cards that you might need 3 of, I don't know. Depends on what you want to try and make your archetype out of. This card's searchable, so you don't necessarily need 3 of that. All these cards are like searchable, so you don't really need 3 of them at all, honestly. Best card in the box would be this one though. So, once you've got one of these, maybe reset it after that. That's about it. But you only really need 2 because you can get 70% chance to have it in starting hand at 2. It's just better with 3 because 3 of them is just nearly guaranteed opening hand, like 80%. I don't know how many games I'll lose on a turn to summon the Infinity Knight. Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear, boys. Maybe the Tramid 1800. Oh yeah, this guy would be great to have 1800. But again, this card is technically searchable because if you're using Ties of Brethren, which most people I think will be using, it's searchable again. Ties of Brethren is another 3 copies of a card. So you can only use, if you only have 2 of these, that's fine. You can use Ties to give you still a 70% chance of opening this anyway. So again, searchable. And if it's searchable, you don't need 3 of it. You should have 3 of it anyway for consistency reasons, but you don't actually need it. Especially if you want to run plenty of these field spells or a bunch of trap card backline, having less of these is maybe a good thing. Alright boys, anyway, that's enough of my stream. I've got to go. Again, I kind of want to end the VOD so the VOD isn't too long. I'll be doing probably a dual room stream in a couple of days, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, some point before the box drops so we can mess around. Probably no new videos until then because there's not really much content to make it on, unless I think of something random, but I doubt it. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Till then, here's an advert. Thank you for the money. Please donate to support me if you want to help me buy card packs or get the rarity tournament going again, which is what the goal is at the top. If you want me to run the rarity tournament. So yeah. Here's an ad. And yeah. Ad block. God damn it. Later, nerds.